All right, first question of the night. Locker room music. When you were playing, what was on that playlist in terms of artists?
Oh, so Metallica.
Oh,
And
okay.
so my favorite go-to pregame was Metallica Hero of the Day.
Okay.
And it's not a very well-known song. And it's actually the best version is the one that they did with the San Francisco Orchestra. I don't know if you remember that album that they did, but they did an entire concert with the San Francisco Orchestra.
That's pretty sweet.
That version of Hero of the Day was what I listened to.
All right.
But yeah, that's a it's funny you bring that up because it's a pretty touchy subject around the locker room. Like, we've had like coaches fights over music.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so my coaching staff knows exactly what I'm talking about. But
You're talking about high school.
I'm talking about high school. Yeah,
wow.
like recently, like music is it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's some kids do really well with it and they respond to it and it gets the kids hyped up, but then there's the other group of kids that they don't want that.
Yeah.
Or that's not what makes them go. So we locker room wise, like the kids like to put we got the big jukebox, or not jukebox, but the boom box, and they were playing music real loud and getting crazy, and you know, and it was, you know, the majority of them love it, but there's a handful of them, and we just came out flat again. I said, you know what, we're not doing that. If you want to listen to music, put your headphones on. You can blare, you can listen whatever you want to. But don't distract the other guys from what they're doing. So it's been a hot topic of coaches being like, well, it's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad. So
wow. Yeah, that was actually what I was going to ask you as well, was like, how do your players do music? Is it on their own? And apparently it is.
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
So I have charge of the iPad during practice. And so I play what I want to play. And sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't. But I play a lot of Texas country.
Okay.
I play their rap stuff. I play rock. I play old school stuff. You know, so it's a gamut of all sorts of stuff. And they want to talk trash about my music, but like when I throw on like the old school rap and Dr. Dre,
the good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff, right? They're out there dancing and they're out there, and I'm like, yeah, y'all don't dance like that to y'all's music. To my music, you dance, but you don't. Yeah, so it's. They talk trash, but they like it.
Well, this generation's like rap music and hip hop genre is more of like, okay. That's like the extent of how you listen to it, as opposed to I can dance to that. Yeah. You know, we can all vibe to that. It's just different.
Or actually understand what they're saying.
Yeah, that too.
Because now it's just like a catchy little ski, or you know,
it's all these ad libs that
song, are just, or it's some little catchy little tune, and they're clapping to the beat, or you know, and the kids they dig it and they get into it, and whatever suits their fancy. I think it's pretty funny, and I like some of that stuff. I really do, but I'll also have in the same playlist Amazing Grace the next song after that. So it's just, you just don't ever know what's coming up next.
Sure. Yeah, last year broadcasting for the basketball games, it was the worst pregame playlist I've ever heard. And you know what I mean? Like, I've heard some decent ones. I've heard some bad ones. That was by far the worst. No. And it was like 2022, 2021 rap songs. Nice. So I will say that is the worst era for hype songs. Yeah. And you can quote me on that. So. All right. So, guys, we are here with Coach Cale Sanders. This is week 9. For the upcoming game against Centennial, a district game as well. 1-1 in district right now. We got the win, picked up the win last week, and it wasn't pretty.
No.
It was ugly. It was penalties for days. On the broadcast, we commented saying it was penalty city. If Carlsbad turned into penalty city as a whole. What was the final number on that? Did you get that?
You know, I had to go back and look, but it's a lot. Yeah. I was looking at the stats before I came over here, and I didn't check that category. But that category sometimes is skewed because throughout Huddle it doesn't count them all. Like
okay.
There's just some glitches in the system that doesn't catch it all. But there was a lot. It was actually not as bad as Alamo.
That's wild.
And then that's just saying something about Alamo. But it was, and a lot of it was, you know. It was legit stuff too, so we just got to stop doing that. It's killing us, man. We will pop a good run, and it's just like normally I'm thinking about the next play. No, I'm looking for yellow. Like, God dang, like what? Yeah. What do we do this time? like, how do we get that open? Or,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But yeah,
was something wrong.
it's getting old. I'm really tired of putting ourselves behind the chains and hurting ourselves. And, you know, we do enough stuff without the penalties to help to hurt ourselves. So we don't need to add that too. So, and that's just a point of it's just, we just drill down on every single time is, you know, we got to win the turnover battle. We got to win the penalty battle. And, you know, my other big thing is explosive plays.
Sure.
So those are kind of my big 3 or 4. There's about 4 or 5 of them that are real important, but the penalties is big, and the turnovers.
Yeah.
So we had 4 turnovers, and we started off putting our defense in a bind, and, you know, that first drive didn't work out like I was kind of hoping it to. I really thought we were going to score on the first play.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen, and then we mess around and get to a third down run option, and we buck the pitch man, and it just turns into a mess, and the ball just hit the ground, and, you know, we put ourselves behind the 8 ball. But, you know, I think they did a pretty good job of waking up and climbing out of that hole, and but at the end of the day, the turnover margin was 4-4. They gave it back to us 4 times, so shame on them. But yeah, it's hard to tie.
You can almost kind
the
of
turnover
lucked out
battle
in
with
that
4.
regard.
Absolutely.
How do you combat penalties at that level? Because, you know, I've heard of different strategies. You know, in practice, somebody, you know, jumps a line, whatever, you're going to run for it. You're going to do this kind of that kind of thing.
We do.
What about you?
You know, we actually have that within our stretching and our warm up, because we go off a cadence in our warm up, and you know, I try to trick them and try to get them to jump off sides, and you know, we jump off sides once, we just start over, and then we jump off sides twice, we start over, but everyone's got to do up downs until, you know. So we try to incorporate all of that into everything. Unfortunately, it's not a, you know, a college program or a NFL program where we can have refs at practice, because that would be fantastic if we could do that. That would probably help a lot. Maybe we need to start doing that. Coaches just walk around with a yellow hanky and
no kidding.
and throw it. Yeah.
Or you might be able to get some Boys and Girls Club volunteers to come out and check it out. That might be a decent idea.
They might be better than some of the rest we've had.
Okay, Centennial coming up, another district game. This one's at home. Last home game. What are we expecting out of Centennial?
Centennial is, I think, they're ranked number 2 in the state, and they're ranked number 2 for a reason. They are just as good, if not better, than Artesia and Roswell High and Volcano. They're a solid football team. So yeah, that's you're getting a high class, high ranked, very good football team coming to town.
Yeah, I actually noticed when I was looking their stuff up, they've only lost to, I believe, Cleveland and an El Paso team.
Yeah, El Paso.
So they started off with some challenges, almost like sharpen them up, and it seems like since then they haven't looked back.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I was just doing some research today, and just, you know, I just try to go through there and look and see what explosive plays have been, you know, done against them, and the longest gain that they've given up is 28 yards.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, well, we're gonna grind it out then.
So they're pretty locked down.
Yeah, they're a bend and don't break. They're you know like right now. I was just at the field. I'm gonna go back after we're done here. Their defense is really hard to get any kind of tendencies on it. So they're gonna do a lot of stuff. They do a lot of stunting, a lot of slanting, a lot of blitzing, and we're trying to figure out some pattern or rhyme or reason to it all. And it's tough. And I remember this, you know, dealing with them last year too. It's probably one of the best coach defenses that we'll play all year. So yeah, it's definitely an offensive coach's nightmare the way they operate. You know, and you know, add really good athletes, and offensively they're the same. You know, they're pretty. I wouldn't say plain Jane, but they're kind of old school, double tight. You know, you'll see some tight ends and some wings, and they're going to run the ball at us. But you know, if they need to throw the ball, they can do that just as well as they run the ball.
Sure.
They have one of the best, probably the best wide receiver in the state.
Really?
Yeah. So he's he demands attention, and not to mention, you know, their backs are always good. It's like running back city, I guess, over there. They always have somebody coming out of there that's really good, and they're a well coached team. That they're going to come in and they're going to have a lot of them, and you'll see them in the pregame. They circle up and they chant and cheer and clap and kind of that old school, like trying to intimidate you with the clapping and the hoorahs and the whatever, all that stuff. I'm not into that stuff, but they do that. And like I said, they're just a well-coached football team. They're gonna do well. So we're trying to put our boys in the best situation, give them the best chance to win we can. So we're gonna work our butt off and try to find some little nugget and we found a couple. We just got to execute.
Okay. One thing that I noticed last Friday, was that there was a delay of game to start the game.
There should have been.
So we saw that, and I'm drawing a blank on who it was again we played.
It's Oregon Mountain.
That's right, Oregon Mountain. So we play Oregon Mountain. They don't come out of their locker room, which is the baseball field at the moment, until after the anthem, everything like that. So I was like, we were looking at each other. This has got to be, we got to get something out of this. We got nothing. What happened?
Yeah, I asked Dwayne. I said, he was the head judge, and I'm like, hey, how long are you going to give him? Like at kickoff, it should have been a penalty.
Sure.
And I don't know the specific rule about that. Someone can probably educate me on that. But normally that's a delayed game. And honestly, I mean, this is my personal opinion, but that's a little gamesmanship with Coach Sanchez over there. He we were talking before the game. The refs came over and we're like, hey, listen, we want the captains out at 6:55 or whatever it was, And he said, if you win the toss, what do you want to do? He's asking me. And I said, I want the ball, just like that. I said, I want the ball, which is not normally the case, right?
Sure.
And he kind of smirked. So they looked at him and like, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, I want to defer. I'm like, why do we even go flip the coin? Let's just roll it like it is.
Sure.
And I think I don't know if it just sat with them wrong or who knows?
Huh.
Who knows? But some people take that as an insult when people say, I want the ball.
I want to jump on you first.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So, and we didn't do that. So, but some people take that wrong. Maybe that was it, or maybe, I don't know, maybe his clock was wrong. Who knows? But
maybe they just got a hold
It's not like you didn't hear the national anthem.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what he was, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
My guess is they just got into a really nice bucket of sunflower seeds in the dugout, and they were like, oh, these are so good. Hold on, we're finishing up,
Sorry, baseball players, they ate your sunflower seeds.
That's my guess. So the predictions that I heard before the game from non-coaches, just people on the outside looking in like myself, was we should beat Oregon Mountain 25, 30 plus points. That's like what I had heard from a couple different people. What was the feeling on the sideline when it was just kind of really close?
It was
at
really
half?
close. It was 10 to 16 at half.
Yeah.
We were up by not happy. Right? That's not what I expected to be at half. That's not what I expected to be in the game. Now, granted, I mean they have some athletes and they could go a little bit.
Their quarterback could move.
Yeah, they're not just a dog team. They have their struggles, but they weren't a 10 to 16 team to us. Like that's us.
Yeah.
Because I think we had the 3 turnovers in the first half, and I think our last turnover was when Aiden fumbled there at the end. So we really, gift wrapped them some field position and gave them the touchdown early, and then gave them the 10 points. So a lot of that was us, not them. But we didn't get off the bus like I figured we would. Which everything felt good. We just, like I said, we didn't get out of our own way.
Sure.
So we didn't beat Carlsbad. And I told the kids at half, I'm like, Carlsbad showed up, didn't they? Like they're going to every week, and every week you can count on Carlsbad. Like they're going to be here. And when I say that, I'm referencing we're beating ourselves.
Yeah.
And they showed up, and they're pretty good. When they show up, they're pretty good. So
sure.
We just got to get rid of that. And on the board this week, again, it says beat Carlsbad, not beat Centennial. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to fix ourselves.
Yeah. Ulysses Mendoza is clearly your stud. We've talked about him time and time again. Not a flashy guy, not very humble kid. So I won't see this from him. But celebrations on touchdowns, what is your thought on that? Obviously, like I said, we're not going to see it from him, and he's the one scoring most of our touchdowns. But, a kid gets a little excited. They do a big celebration. What is your thought on that?
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
No.
I love celebrating. I want you to celebrate together as a team. I want 11 guys when we score a touchdown. I want 11 dudes in the end zone jumping, hyping, grabbing. I don't want any flaunting, nothing in front of anybody else. I don't want you celebrating by yourself. And we had some of that Friday night, and I had to get on to some kids. I'm like, he's like, Coach, did you see me? I knocked him on his tail. I'm like, yeah, you did. You did a phenomenal job. Don't get a 15 and ruin it. Come over here and celebrate with your friends. And I want to brag on Yulee a little bit because a lot of people didn't see this or wouldn't understand it like we do. But that we had a big long run, a couple plays, and then he broke the long one, and we copied it. That means get on the ball and run it again instantly. And he did it again. That got a penalty. And I looked over and he's out of breath. So I said, Aiden, get in. And we ran the counter gap the other way, and Aiden scored. And you know who the first person was at the end zone?
Wow, yeah.
Was Yulee.
That's awesome.
He was more excited for Aiden than anybody else. And that's a true leader. If you ask me, everyone should have been happy for him, but for that guy to be out of breath and we had to pull him, and he's a stud and he gets 30 carries a game, and to be excited for his teammate, his backup, to get in there and get a score. Most of them have been like, God, that should have been me.
Right.
That's not Yulee. That he didn't do that. And man, I wish I had a whole team of those guys.
Right.
Because that goes a long, long, long way.
Sure. No, and that's something that I think Aiden will remember as well. Hey, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure. And Aiden, I love that he got in, because Aiden, he works his tail off for us running scout team, and he's got to do all of our stuff because he can go in at an instant, and he was ready right away, sitting there with his helmet strapped up, ready to rock and roll. But yeah, he works his tail off, Monday through Thursday for us, and I'm glad to see he got in there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a sneaky little guy. No one saw him. I think everyone was like, "Where'd he go?" And he's sitting in the end zone, like, "I'm over here, ball. I got the ball,"
Yeah.
But yeah, he's pretty sneaky, and he's got some. You can't tackle him in a phone booth. He's that guy.
Wow.
So
slippery.
he's going to be pretty fun to watch when he gets to be the man.
Going back to the celebrations, you mentioned that celebrate with your guys. What do you think about the old bowling pins move? Everybody's there.
That's probably. Yeah,
is that going to work?
That's probably going to get us a flag. Yeah, I mean, technically, I guess it falls within my rules. But,
okay, all right. There's a loophole here.
There is a loophole, but minus the flag, right?
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't want to see I guess we could get one of those end zone cameras.
Yeah.
And just have them all go take a picture
That would be nice.
We were talking about the other day, and we want them to, for an interception, because they have all this cool stuff for the turnover thrown. And
in college football.
Yeah, we have the club, and that's what we were kind of making the club as our. And it's I don't know where it came from. It was in the field house when I got here, and I'm like, this is a perfect little club. But as coaches, we were talking, and we thought it would be really cool if you were turnover and you just, as soon as it happens, you just sprint to that guy with the cannon and you get to fire one off.
That would be cool.
that would be really cool. Probably a flag on that one too.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that would be awesome. But kind of like the headset thing, it's probably never going to happen, but it'd be cool.
Sure. Football weather. What does that mean to you?
Sweaters, cold.
Okay.
We haven't had it yet.
Yeah. Is it snow?
I love nasty football weather. I want it to be cold, wind blowing 40, rain going sideways. That's to me is I would rather deal with that than 116 degree heat. To me, it just feels like football.
Wow.
Now the kids don't like it; their hands are cold and they're got their sweater on underneath all their stuff. But I love that, and a lot of people think I'm crazy for that, but.
No, yeah, I absolutely do.
I love it.
I do.
I love the fish in that weather too.
Yeah, really?
The nastier the better. Yeah, because
Does
half
fish
the time
start biting or what?
Well, that and half the time you beat people before you even get on the water. People are like, I don't want to go out in this, or mentally you got them beat before they even put their boat on the water.
Okay.
But I think a lot of that might happen with football too. If you can mentally tough, we had a thing at Goddard. It didn't matter when it was, if it was January or November or October or whatever we were doing, or whatever. We were in season, off season, the first snow, mandatory bear crawls. And so you get to go out and bear crawl in the snow, which is kind of like a rite of passage. But it doesn't ever snow here, so and if it does, it melts before 7th hour. So
and that turf doesn't help either, right? It's like a little warmer.
Yeah. It's 4,000 degrees.
I was actually listening to saw a video, and it was talking about it's like in Denmark or somewhere that's always cold. I don't know. I might be saying that, and it's like hot there all the time. But they like leave their babies outside. They like bundle them up, but they leave them outside to sleep and take naps so that they can build their immune system, stuff like that. I feel like that was where you were from.
Yeah.
Like without knowing it, that's how you became so in love with this
I had the
weather.
little wooden boots and the little wooden shoes and the whole 9 yards.
All right, so here's your pop quiz. First time we've done a pop quiz on the pod, but we're going to get this down. Tell me if you know what these terms mean.
Okay.
You've been around these high school boys a lot, and just as a coach and as a teacher as well, you've heard these. Slay.
Ooh. Slay?
Slay.
How's it rated?
No, it's rated normal.
It's
G. It's G. It's G.
Yeah, I don't know what slay is then, I guess.
Okay. All right. What about it's giving?
It's giving?
Yeah.
All right, what kids are you hanging out with?
I found these on the internet,
okay.
and I've heard them.
Okay.
I've heard them for sure. So
Yeah, I guess I'm getting old.
No.
Man.
Okay. What about fell off?
Fell off?
Yeah.
No, we fell off a couple times, but I don't know. I don't think it's the same thing.
I think it kind of is. I think it kind of is. Like when you are.
Yeah, like you're doing good, and then you just kind of dump off the edge. Or,
Yeah.
You were the dude. Now you're not the dude anymore.
That's the exact. That's the exact thing I saw that it was defined as. Gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping. No.
God, I'm a loser.
You're not sitting at the cool table. I'll tell you that.
Evidently not. I'm at the field house watching film.
Okay. Bet.
Okay, yeah, bet.
You got bet?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
Like true. Like,
okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
got it.
That's right.
Yeah, I do hear that one a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Even coach, yeah, bet. Yeah.
Stan.
Stan? Mm-hmm. Like Stan the man?
Like I stand that.
Oh, no. I don't know that one either.
No.
I gotta
Sus.
I got to find this website.
What about sus?
Sus?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Don't know what that one is either. God,
And then last one, mid.
Mid?
Uh-huh.
No.
Wow. So you don't talk to your players. You just
I talk to them a lot, but maybe they use their proper
Maybe they don't
language.
talk back to you.
Maybe that's a good thing. They're showing me respect. They're
Yeah.
not talking slang to me.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm going to teach them some old tricks, some old slang.
It's funny because I was reading these and I was thinking about them like.
Did you know
I knew a lot of these.
Did you?
And I actually get the definitions from my students. Like they'll tell me. I remember last year a student told me about what gaslighting was, and to this day it's still hard to kind of wrap my head around because there's like this kid will tell you this kid will tell you this, and I don't know if that's gaslighting, them telling me those different things. So I don't even know, but I have heard a lot of these. But I was listening to a song earlier and it was like, he totally or she totally gets me. And I feel like back in the day, that must have been slang, right? Because if you think about it, that's a weird way of saying that they understand you. I get you. You know what I mean? But it's so normal now that this was probably what it sounded like when it came out. I don't know.
Bet.
Just weird. Bet. Absolutely. Love it. All right, cool. This week's theme.
Halloween.
Oh.
Freddy Krueger horror movie.
Oh, because it's Friday the 13th.
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's I'm glad I remembered that one.
Do you guys have bloody polos or what's the sideline vibe?
Have them all tore up. We're gonna come out in clown outfits like It or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we don't have anything special, but yeah, it's for the crowd. So
Okay.
Being Friday the 13th, hopefully there'll be some horror out there in the stands. That'd be cool.
Some paintings on their faces and stuff like that.
Something. Yeah. Wear some Jason masks or Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Jason and Freddy Krueger.
That's why you don't understand these, I think.
know.
It's because you're back there still. You know? All right. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. We hope that you guys enjoyed, and we hope that you slay.
Bet.
Yeah.
Bet.
This has been sponsored by Tate Branch. So thank you.